Surrealism. This page is about the spotted rear end of time. For others, assume ambiguation, ambiguation. Dun dun dun. Surrealism, having a shelf life of 8 million clicks, is the artichoke of mysterious bongo bongos, graciously sneezing craftware all over the turn front with pillowcases of desire, remembering that a pretzel in the sock is worth none inside a giant turtle. Thus runs the slimy horsewing, through caterpillar-laden synchronicity. What is surrealism, you ask? Well, it's better to say that what surrealism is not. It is not R2D2's favorite porridge riding a giant alligator in the sea of spaghetti. Definitely not that. Surrealism is what you make it, or what you don't make it. Surrealism is a lot like dreaming. Actually, you are dreaming right now. You can only wake up by reading this article to the very end. Happy reading. Just pinch yourself in the arm to wake up, didn't you? Well, pinch away. It won't help. Best regards, the voice inside your head. Bumper sticker library recycler. Cyclist mounting points play sideways with irrational exuberance without corresponding direct fletch relations. Organically siphoned toad stumpers rake in massive omnipotent orangutans while still functioning inside donut machines. Monkey boners scarf tricycles. Horny owners run mingled yams. Magnetic refrigerator, poetry memory. Wimbledon massacre whitewash intensifiers. Possible. How does fork eat? Four scores along the way. Mushrooms have many healing properties. The toes of my toad. Coagulum milk settles in the eastern regions of your soul as you read this. Stay where you are. We will come and get you. Like a goose on stilts, I am your aunt. The tangled morsel of my childhood dreams alive interpretation of deep blue sea. Falling all the way to town on the back of a mouse, riding forever through the basement of osmosis until further is no longer than a piece of string without beginning or end. Only a clergyman looks on as his pockets brim with cheese and flatulence prevails over dark streets. The almonds begin to stroke their clammy sponge cake as the stout orange weasel watches on in shame. He likes his spatula, but can't help using it as a time shoe for his moonflakes. Perhaps those pure crumbs weren't so terrible. They helped my outside-in pumpkin preacher repay his pastel mink-eye foam for good. The indulgences of a stray cracker factory. A dolphin transmission can be heard with the faint viscosity of an average autumn afternoon. Oozing from the pores is a pole-vaulting nutcracker, intensifying the whisper of a broken tissue. Reality is not always the preface of a Mark Twain novel. Traveling the genie's dimension may cause elevated blood pressure within the cabin. Please invert your sternum and prepare for intravenous plant nectar. Snooze on the whistle and your bear will be sorely missed by an elf twiddling off colloid muffin sting. The razor blades have taken my sinuses hostage. Charge the fur on my knees and have him know that only a man shall blend light jazz music with a type of carrot juice. Rinse with a muskrat sauce and serve chilled in branches. Loosely savor its subtle, merciful glow within a teaspoon diameter of and under the dandelion cream. Jimmy Mim was the inventor of surrealism. He was born in the year 2222 on July 45th on the coast of Arizona. His story began in Moscow, England when he was 34 divided by 0 years old. He was walking down the road when suddenly the sky grew a mouth and ate him. After being spat back out 3 months later, he yelled out in annoyance. He yelled so loud that he was transported back in time to the year 1234. Once there, he decided to invent surrealism. And then he turned cyan and exploded. He will always be remembered as the weirdest person in history, and also the most terrifying. For because of him, we know that sometime between now and the year 2222, the whole world will be as nonsensical as he is. Some say he was the prophet of modern politics, mainly because they make little or no sense to anyone. China didn't do what did to me. 'Twas brillig and the slitty virus on tumble with the cloudy vase. Don't get without the cabbage. Don't get without the cabbage. There is an egg in my porch. Don't tell it off. It didn't mean to kill that thought. It only slipped and pulled the trigger to some salt somewhere. In the darkness there is light. In the darkness there is a light that you cannot see because it is dark in the darkness. Too dark to see not but the face of the clock itself. And the clock is melting, 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 melting like the face of time itself. At 4 o'clock in 20 minutes, 17:45 GM, the black cat flew into the darkness and cast a light to have an allergy attack upon time itself. Purple monkey dishwashers. Unlike rabbit underwear, surrealistic gravy needs to have been eulogized into slower morphologies. However, unlike Oprah Winfrey, non-isomorphic bananas require a more fluidic gaggle of milk duds to accentuate non-local and unequivocal surrealities. The Swedish mudslide. Once upon a time, they lived a happy box of Pop-Tarts. Then one day, the big mini dragon came along and ate them. They died. Roar, went the dragon. And he lived happily ever after in his washing machine. Fresno used his overheat on the little people, and then fire came out of the monkey's dick. How do lava lamps swim in ketchup? They nail liquids into their wagons and ride all the way home from the land of Krunk, where the Pimpasaurus live under the ass cheeks of his favorite Pokemon, Fakachu. Yep, isn't it babla so pompous when we look at the burst of willy-nilly? When Bella strikes gold, hit those caverns. Upon reading the medium butterscotch, please attempt to heavily flashlight upon all the world's joining yodelers. If this is not done, a small but largely porcupine-based pastry will emerge from the depths of said pterodactyl and slowly emanate a thrusting kind of lasagna, intent of licking my antimatter. Whether or not they actually potatoes isn't clear. Washing machines are no longer cool. Neither is washing a slight blip in the graph of omnipotence, but a shade of pig-flavored vomit known only as Gregory, the fourth but last emperor of all watermelons. Touch it softly and you may be gotten by the depressing amount of cheese-grating axes confronting your family, demanding that pan should not be considered foodstuff but an igloo. Climb the lattice justice for the great brood of waffles. 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 Plus the dancing monkey for... and waffles. 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 But wait for the flash, Gordon. If one is indeed aspiring to cream the three dwarf twins, then you should aspire to do so in velvet style without repercussion for self-organized totalitarian landing craft. But wait, there's more! It's green, tall, and won't listen when you ask it politely to blow your bifurcated noodle. So please, friends, eat fried potatoes only when not necessary to tangent the triangular math teacher. It is always the secret of existence to not sound the former rival. Butter screams if you touch it on the lower ear. Please excuse me while I'm off to water the cat. Tabby's necessity could cogito faster than Dada embraces imperfection. It wasn't even your salami. Don't eat my cat. 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 It never did anything to you. Flinging juicy musas for Quasimodo's Uncle Edna. In 1903, Eucalyptus of the left ventricle pontificated on whether the magnetic charges instigated by several crabgrasses had any meaning whatsoever. Consequently, his pet penguin inflated the nanoscopic proportions of the mellifluous nest and joyously bit his 17th toenail off. This incidental interlude was then subsequently knit into a vice presidential speech and almost won a transfinite number of Academy Awards in the intermediate vicinity of Luxembourg. Arctic anti-propulsion kiwis. When once there lay a meloglass sitting on the floor, pikemen thought it transited blown in time-space with little effect. The subsequent visits from Xenu brought little malign to the corpulous meshing of fielded vermilion. Pink quagga began to quickly hatch indecision, subsequently anticipating alternative medicines with great discretion. Later errors brought little ease to the righteous flurry of stabbing ingestibles. Enemy lasagna robust below wax. Semi-automatic aqua company slacks. My coffee. Gymnastic motorcycle uniform. Accidental plastic extra nightly cow. 4 after Kiwi social. Mrs. Bearcomb and running kind. In all the eye running hat. Human waves tries on ever on Tuesday. Puck change on penny squash. Darling token face. Any bud gets 70 in that fossil scarred race. They make gnome cheese box and type I wretch. Molecular sandstorms which Oswald would or would not grok. Pneumatic ginger snaps. Liquefied buffalo feathers. A pile of distressed lizard cheese in Glastonbury, England. Subjective fragrances. Not yet, baby, not yet. The highwaymen of Pimpleton in their socks. Dancing the shallows, they cuffed up hair balls begrudgingly. No mountain was too tall for the scissors. You shall be my mother when you grow up. Cheese Whiz will be made by Duracell. Colorless green ideas sleep fearlessly. See your audits for commentary. Hooked on Reaganomics. 10,000 lost souls fill the sky with a lemon spread as the gangrenous pasterians for a respectful dandelion. Shear my stew, shear my stew. A benevolent crook cut gently forks the unforgiving custard tree. The paste. How the paste does reflect the hummingbird's credentials onto the sassy cheese fin. Two beams descend upon the Andromeda system encased in the housing of an eager horse shrub. The postman, forever indulging the master track consisting of ice-coated tree sap, tickles the immoral tiger with a beam of foot sausage. And how the deferents intertwine with their subtle yo-yos? But if not for my tin elbows, has that steam engine not produced enough beard sauce? Alas, the baking of bread has not worn boots in vain. The star of damnation does not go unnoticed by mountain snails wielding iron and toothpaste inserts. The deciduous mayonnaise eventually conforms as the gaseous snake emits such a radiation that dumplings would regurgitate meerkats with the speed of several churning teacups. And if the underground walrus squeezes any further, may we not have struck its arteries with a fine head of lettuce. A sneezing lamb sits, gently moving bowels to the hallowed fox. The integrity of the berries intensifies threefold as the howling Norwegian permafrost is heard billowing above the interplanetary electron microscope, chanting, berries, ferns, paste, and leaves. Berries, ferns, paste, and leaves. Hipsphere's Enema. Proclamation, Bulbasaur overriding the compounding Finnish androids. Hark! So mistakes the superfluous director of my sins, the Angle Rodeo. His eyes weep with her hymns, the celestial plutonium untampered with Kashmir. No, it can't be what I say, not what you. Ducks of implosion, not in pedestals, but a countenance of amber? Christmas, she's drunk. Dostoevsky, Fyodor, translation by Pevier, Richard, and Volokhonsky. Larissa, -46. The brothers Alkazak, New York, Farrar, Stoss, and Giroux. Give me time, I will grow, que sera, suesera. Juxtaposing peacocks and a flamboyant autopsy. As can be depicted through the unseen magnolia hiccups, marijuana access couldn't flavor the worst of venom from a bitch's amphibian. Furthermore, angels perpetrate walking hemispheres. Epileptic. Listening to the pineapple is generally considered as beneficial, especially in Canada. Ghastly synesthesia and gnarly pantomime. This is not funny. How many cells does it take to change a light bulb? 2. One takes care of the giraffe while the other one forcefully calling machine parts into the bathtub. Or if you don't like that answer, fish and a half. Cult and Surrealism. Arguments are to be avoided, but they are always from Spain and often Blue Witch. Sped Garden. Oscar Wilde and Surrealism. The day when Encyclopedia releases a summary of this article in plain English is the day when elks are blue and have green laser pointers in place of horns and vuvuzelas for legs. This is really silly. Would you like a pinch of coconut crab with your plutonium wedding meal, sir? It'll make the space-time continue explode if you eat it. In Soviet Russia, Surreal. I'm disappointed. I expected it to be the only article on Encyclopedia to make sense. I will paint your eyes with hasty cheese sauce and from the black abyss of cavernous foot-sucking.